Okay, the EU has draft rules about how they're going to regulate AI, and they just leaked. And I'm going to try and explain it to you, even though I just got out of a dentist appointment, and this whole side of my face is numb. So let's see if I can get through this. So I wrote this book called The Loop, How Technology is Creating a World Without Choices, How to Fight Back. The new subhead is How AI is Creating a World Without Choices, How to Fight Back, because that's really what it was about. And in the book, I was trying to basically make this argument that how we are, how our brains work, make us especially susceptible to manipulation and a loss of autonomy and a bunch of funky results from engaging with artificial intelligence. And the problem, and over again in this book, I'm trying to articulate how it's a big problem in the United States, is that we as a culture really don't like to talk about our gullibility, our vulnerability to manipulation, the fact that we're really easy to analyze, all this stuff. And it's so interesting to read the EU's AI regulations, because they really powerfully elucidate their concerns about this stuff. And they basically put AI into these categories, low risk all the way through forbidden. And what's really interesting is that they really call out the potential for AI to manipulate people. And they say that any piece of AI that is essentially deployed with the intention of manipulating someone, doing away with their autonomy. I mean, this is the kind of language I was trying to use in my book. I was literally racking my brain as to how to articulate this idea over and over again. They articulate it themselves, and they say that kind of AI is going to be forbidden. And that's a very big deal. They also say that if someone winds up using a piece of AI that wasn't created with that intention, but that lends itself in some way to that use, then that company is also kind of liable for this, which I thought is fascinating. So anyway, the regulations are going to apply to anybody whose AI winds up being used on a grand scale in the EU, whether or not that company is EU based at all. But one little asterisk to this that I think is really interesting is that there's this big company, Mistral, that is one of the big AI providers, right? There's only like 6 or 7 companies that have these big models that everybody's using. ChatGPT from OpenAI, Google has Bard, Facebook has just announced they're going to start pursuing AGI in an open source way with their model Llama. Mistral is one of them, but here's the thing. Mistral is a French company, and France has been threatening to try to block this new law, and is still trying to. And the fact that they are trying to sort of get in front of it, get out in front of it, I think it is not coincidental that it's because they are the home to one of the competitors to Google and the rest of them. I hope I haven't bit my lip in the midst of talking like this. But anyway, very interesting to see some of these sort of fanciful notions that I had communicated in this book making it into law. Not that they read the book and took inspiration from it, but very interesting. And also interesting, I was just in a conversation yesterday with a bunch of American political and military people, intelligence community people, and a bunch of other AI folks, and they were all very scornful of this leaked draft because they think it plays whack-a-mole and the regulations are too onerous and they're trying too hard to sort of anticipate what this thing is going to be before it's really there. But I don't know, man. I think regulation is supposed to do that. I think you try to call for safety before you even know what all the harms are. That's the idea of proactive regulation. So this thing of saying whack-a-mole and critiquing it that way feels weird to me. I feel like that's how law enforcement works, right? You arrest people as they commit crimes. You don't do away with crime in the beginning, thanks to the law you wrote at the beginning. So anyway, super interesting, and a big, just weird to see ideas that I thought I was very alone in having once upon a time, or at least that, I was reporting them from a very small group of people, was making its way into European Union law. Funky.